I believe that America's future and economic prosperity are inextricably linked to the Indo-Asia Pacific, a region that's poised at the strategic nexus where opportunity meets the four considerable challenges of North Korea, China, Russia, and ISIS. Then there's North Korea, which remains the most immediate threat to the security of the United States and our allies in Japan and Korea. North Korea has vigorously pursued a strategic strike capability with nuclear tests and ballistic missile launches, which it claims are intended to target the United States, South Korea, Japan, and just earlier this week, Australia. Make no mistake, Kim Jong-un is making progress on his quest for nuclear weapons and a means to deliver them intercontinentally. All nations need to take this threat seriously because North Korea's missiles point in all directions. North Korea's capabilities are not yet an existential threat to America, but if left unchecked, it will eventually match the capability to hostile rhetoric. I know that there's some debate about North Korea's intent and the miniaturization advancements made by Pyongyang, and I won't add to that speculation. Regardless, my job is to provide military options to the President. And because PACOM must be ready to fight tonight, I must assume that Kim Jong-un's nuclear claims are true. I know his aspirations certainly are. That's why General Brooks and I are doing everything possible to defend the American homeland and our allies in the Republic of Korea and Japan. That's why the ROK-U.S. alliance decided last July to deploy THAAD, the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System, which will be operational in the coming days and able to better defend South Korea against the growing North Korean threat. That's why the USS Carl Vinson carrier strike group is back on patrol in Northeast Asia. That's why we must continue to debut America's newest and best military platforms in the Indo-Asia Pacific. That's why we want to continue to emphasize trilateral cooperation between the United States, South Korea, and Japan, a partnership with a purpose if there ever was one. And that's why we continue to call on China to exert its considerable influence to stop Pyongyang's unprecedented weapons testing. While recent actions by Beijing are encouraging, the fact remains that China is as responsible for where North Korea is as North Korea itself. In confronting the reckless North Korean regime, it's critical that we're guided by a strong sense of resolve, both privately and publicly, both diplomatically and militarily. As President Trump and Secretary Mattis have made clear, all options are on the table. We want to bring Kim Jong-un to his senses and not to his knees. I'm also not taking my eyes off of Russia, which just last week flew bomber missions near Alaska on successive days for the first time since 2014. Russia continues to modernize its military and exercises its considerable conventional and nuclear forces in the Pacific. So, despite the region's four significant challenges, since my last report to you, we've strengthened America's network of alliances and partnerships. Working with like-minded partners on shared security threats like North Korea and ISIS is a key component of our regional strategy. Our 5 bilateral defense treaty alliances, Australia, Japan, the Republic of Korea, the Philippines, and Thailand, anchor our joint force efforts in the Indo-Asia Pacific. We've also advanced important partnerships with India and Indonesia, Malaysia, New Zealand, Singapore, and Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and others, all with a view toward reinforcing the rules-based security order that has helped underwrite peace and stability and prosperity throughout the region for decades. But there's more work to do. We must be ready to confront all challenges from a position of strength and with credible combat power. So I ask this committee to support continued investment to improve military capabilities. I need weapon systems of increased lethality, precision, speed, and range that are networked and cost-effective. And restricting ourselves with funding uncertainties reduces warfighting readiness, so I urge Congress to repeal sequestration and to approve the proposed Defense Department budget. Finally, I'd like to thank Chairman McCain and this committee for proposing and supporting the Asia-Pacific Stability Initiative. This effort will reassure our regional partners and send a strong signal to potential adversaries of our persistent commitment to the region.